All right, hey, Brian Erhahon here with another episode of Empire Leadershift. Today, we're going to be talking about what is your distinct value proposition. Let's get it. So today, we're actually talking about what is your distinct value proposition. Now, just because you're in an industry, a particular industry, doesn't mean that you've got to play like the industry that you're in, right? Meaning that Keller Williams, for instance, being the #1 trading and consulting company across all industries worldwide, and yet it's a real estate company. Another example would be like Zappos, right? The online shoe and clothing retailer. I mean, to actually think about it, they actually started as a online shoe store back in the early 2000s. That got them going, and yet they found that that wouldn't keep them in the game very long because anybody could put and sell shoes online, especially at that moment with the .com boom and all of the above. And yet they looked at specifically what could be their distinct advantage against the competition, meaning what is it that they're willing to do that others aren't willing to do? What is it that no one else is doing or could challenge them that they could take on #1 spot and own as a result? So they actually, as a result, ended up deciding to be the actually #1 best customer service company that they could be. Now, they did that yet in the field of being a shoe retailer. As they focused on this, they ended up taking them in the direction of just #1 in dominance. How did they get there? By actually offering free returns and free shipping at a time when no one else even thought that that was possible. At a time that no one else was even thinking about doing that online. Most shoe stores, right, brick and mortar shoe stores don't even do that. Now, as they built their business around this concept, they actually led themselves and moved their headquarters across the state, across the country, having to move their entire operations, their employees as well. 70 out of 90 of their employees actually moved out of state with them. Roughly over 80% moved. Now you're talking about culture there and a belief in a product or a direction that no one else would be able to compete with or take on. Now think about this. If you're an employee that just moved across the state, moved across the country with just an upstart, come to find out just a few years later, Amazon becoming highly interested in buying Zappos for over $1.2 billion. Was that a worthwhile investment? I would say so. By specifically focusing on our customer service and making sure that the customer felt valuable and removing all objections on why they couldn't buy a product online, try it on, not like it, send it back for free shipping and free returns, no hassle return policy. Amazing. Now, as it stands today, over $2 billion in revenue a year in shoes and clothing sales. Is that a game changer or what? So as I have encouraged you to think about what you could do differently in your industry and look at comparable industries that would allow you to share, adopt, utilizing your research and development strategies and bring that into your company. Like, what could you be the best at that your industry currently isn't doing or isn't willing to do? Maybe thinking and looking at things a bit differently. You might find out that, hey, Amazon might be interested in you, buying you and your company for $1 billion. Just saying. Let's get it. All right, that concludes another episode of the Empire Leadershift conversation. Like, share, and subscribe. Looking forward to the next one. Stay tuned.